Is Toronto making a massive mistake by walking away from available talent? The hockey world is scratching its head as insider reports reveal the Toronto Maple Leafs have essentially slammed the door on Jack Roslovic, a legitimate 22-goal scorer who's sitting there for the taking. This isn't just puzzling. It's potentially catastrophic roster management that could haunt them all season long. Chris Johnson dropped an absolute bombshell on his SDPN show that sent shockwaves through the Toronto faithful. Despite months of speculation linking Roslovic to the blue and white, Johnson delivered the cold, hard truth. I don't see the Leafs as being as much a fit right now, just because, if anything, they have too many forwards in camp. Wait, what? Too many forwards? This is the same organization that has struggled for years to find reliable secondary scoring beyond their big four. The same team that watched Florida Panthers lift the Stanley Cup, while Toronto sat at home wondering what could have been. Now they're claiming they have too much offensive depth. The numbers don't lie about Roslovic's value. Last season with Carolina, he delivered exactly what Toronto desperately needs. 22 goals and 17 assists for 39 points in 81 games on a bargain $2.8 million deal. That's the kind of production that wins playoff series. Yet Toronto is treating him like damaged goods. Johnston's reason becomes even more baffling when you examine Toronto's actual forward situation. He suggests the Leafs are probably facing a scenario at some point before getting into the season where a forward or maybe two are on the move somewhere. But here's the kicker. They're talking about potentially losing players through waivers or AHL assignments. Translation? They'd rather gamble on unproven prospects and aging veterans and secure a proven NHL scorer who's entering his prime at 28 years old. The competition Johnson mentions tells the whole story. Nick Robertson, Easton Cowan, Kaye Jarnkrok, and David Kampf are battling for spots. Robertson has shown flashes but remains inconsistent. Cowan is a promising rookie but completely unproven at the NHL level. Jarnkrok is a solid complementary player but not a game changer. Kampf is primarily defensive-minded. None of these players offer the offensive ceiling that Roslovic brings to the table. It's like choosing a lottery ticket over guaranteed money. Exciting in theory, potentially devastating in reality. General Manager Brad Treliving's recent comments make this situation even more perplexing. He told Sportsnet, "We're always looking. I don't think you ever stop. Whether it happens or not, we'll see. Always looking? Then why aren't they looking at a 22-goal scorer who's available and fits their budget?" Treliving added, "We got a lot of bodies right now, so we'll see. More than likely, unless something changes, we'll go with what we've got." This passive approach is exactly what has plagued Toronto for years. While other teams aggressively pursue available talent, the Leafs seem content to hope their current group magically transforms into something it's never been before. The salary cap excuse doesn't hold water either. Toronto is just under $2 million in space, and Roslovic made $2.8 million last season. A slight restructuring or small trade could easily accommodate his salary, especially considering his proven production value. Let's examine what Toronto is actually walking away from. Roslovic isn't just another depth forward. He's a versatile center/winger who can play in multiple situations. His 22 goals last season ranked him among the top 100 scorers in the NHL, putting him in elite company for secondary offensive contributors. Pierre LeBrun's reporting adds another fascinating wrinkle to this saga. According to the Athletic Insider, "I do believe there was an offer from the Edmonton Oilers at some point, but Roslovic, 28, turned it down." Why would a player turn down Edmonton? Because he's looking for term, not just money. LeBrun confirms. Word is he'd like to get term on his next deal, more than 1 year. This desire for security should be music to Toronto's ears. Instead of gambling on short-term fixes, they could lock up a proven scorer for multiple years at a reasonable rate. It's exactly the type of smart, forward-thinking move successful organizations make. Roslovic's decision to switch agents, now working with Justin Duberman, screams of a player and his representation scrambling to find the right fit. When a 22-goal scorer changes agents this late in the process, it typically indicates frustration with the market response. This presents a golden opportunity for Toronto. They could swoop in and secure a player who's clearly motivated to sign and contribute immediately. Instead, they're watching from the sidelines while potentially beneficial deals slip away. The timing couldn't be worse for their rivals either. Edmonton reportedly made an offer but was rejected. Other contenders have mostly filled their rosters. Toronto could literally have no competition for Roslovic's services if they acted decisively. Here's the brutal truth Toronto fans need to hear. Championship teams don't pass on proven talent because they're worried about roster construction. They find ways to make it work because winning requires depth, and depth requires taking calculated risks on quality players. Florida didn't win the Stanley Cup by being conservative. They aggressively pursued every advantage, even if it meant difficult roster decisions. Meanwhile, Toronto is essentially admitting they're too comfortable with mediocrity to pursue obvious improvements. The Leafs have made the playoffs consistently, but haven't advanced past the first round since 2004. Their core players are aging, and their window for championship contention is narrowing rapidly. This is precisely the time when organizations should be maximizing every opportunity to add talent. Toronto's apparent disinterest in Jack Roslovic represents everything wrong with their organizational philosophy. They're choosing comfort over competition, hope over proven production, and roster convenience over championship aspirations. While other teams will benefit from Roslovic's eventual signing, Leafs fans will be left wondering what could have been when their secondary scoring inevitably disappears in crucial playoff moments. Sometimes the most damaging moves are the ones you don't make. Toronto might be learning that lesson the hard way when they're watching another team's playoff celebration this spring. Do you think the Maple Leafs are making a huge mistake by passing on Roslovic? Could this decision come back to haunt them when they need scoring depth most? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to hit that like button if you think Toronto's front office needs a reality check.